In a certain forest, there lived an old owl. During the day, she rested in her hollow, and at night, she would go out to hunt and observe everything that happened around her. All the animals in the forest knew that the owl was the wisest of them all, and they often came to her for advice. One day, a young wolf came to the owl and asked, "Owl, how can I become as wise as you?" The owl replied, "Before you can become wise, you must learn to listen." The wolf was surprised and said, "But I always listen." The owl shook her head and said, "To listen is not just to hear sounds, it is to understand what lies behind them. First, learn to be silent, observe, and think before you speak." The wolf left, pondering the owl's words. From that moment on, he began to speak less and listen more. He noticed how other animals communicated, how the trees whispered in the wind, how the river told its stories. He realized that true wisdom comes not from words, but from the ability to hear what is hidden behind them. Over time, the wolf stopped speaking altogether. The animals were increasingly amazed and began to talk among themselves. Rumors spread through the forest that the wolf had gained great wisdom, that he knew something but kept silent. The animals lined up to seek advice from the wise wolf, but the wolf remained silent in response. Listening to the wolf's silence, the animals left, pondering and seeing their problems in a new light, and all admired the wolf's wisdom. As for the owl, no one came to her for advice anymore, and she died in her hollow, lonely, and forgotten by all. The moral of this story is that before giving advice, give your advice to yourself. If the owl had kept silent at the right moment, she would still be considered wise among the animals.